Hello and welcome to this week's preview show. Myself, Graham Munsey, joined as always by Dave Harley. Dave, this week we look ahead to the Stellar Devils and their match against the Newcastle Gems, another new entrant to the National League, and great to see another Northern team in the league, obviously on the back of home and away matches against the Berwick Bullets the last couple of weekends.
As we said last week, it's brilliant to have so many Northern teams around after being absent for so long. So it'll be interesting to see how the three teams get on this year. Obviously, the Devils have had a couple of matches already, so hopefully they'll be able to use that to their advantage. And then we can see an old face return as well.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned that there. And I guess it's probably the way that most of the National League teams, also of Championship teams, have went, whereby the sort of spearhead, as it were, of the National League teams is made up of the reserves from the Championship. And we see that again this week. Obviously, the Gems coming north with Joe Alcock, and of course, a guy that needs very little introduction for any Monarchs fans, Max Clay.
Yeah, Max was league winner with the Monarchs, obviously. I mean, he's here for 4 seasons. I was always a big fan, did a really good job for us, and he has, again, got a new track that sometimes it will kick on. Step back to the National League again, but it'll start with a over 10-point average, so they'll be expecting him to be high scoring, especially in return at Aberdeen.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Max will be the talisman. That'll be his role in the team. And of course, as you mentioned, that Armadale experience. But it's another packed show, as hopefully it will be every week going forward. We hear from Lewis Miller of the Stellar Devils, Kelsey Dugard making a return to the sport with the Newcastle Gems, and a little bit different maybe this week with a blast from the past from a Stoke versus Devils match all the way back from 2005, but some very familiar names in that heat, Dave. Dave, if we very briefly look back onto last Friday as a precursor, I guess, this Friday coming, a performance that the Devils can be pleased with, obviously a home win against a strong-looking Bullets team, some strong performances throughout, and something to build on as we look ahead to the Gems match this week.
Yeah, you always want a good solid start to the season, and it was last week. You know, you want to win your home matches, and despite the fact it was close, I don't think it was ever really in doubt that the Devils would win. But it was competitive all the way through, and good to see guys winning races. George obviously looking phenomenal, and the points where the win was wrapped up before heat 15, so it was a good night all round, and first home match for the guys as well. Now they've got the chance to settle and build on that this week.
Yeah, good to get those laps under the belt, and one member of the team that's really enjoying life, I think, and his first real goal as part of a Dale Devils team or a National League team is Lewis Miller, and Dave and I caught up with him a little bit earlier on. So Lewis, thank you very much for joining us on the preview show, looking ahead, of course, to the Devils match against the Newcastle Gems on Friday. Lewis, you're 2 matches into your Devils career now. Obviously the matches are coming thick and fast, 3 in as many sort of weeks. How are you enjoying it so far?
I know, I'm enjoying it a lot. Obviously, I've been given this chance this year, and I've never really enjoyed my racing as much as I have before, because obviously I've got the chance, and it's competitive racing now. You know, it's not just me and Gregor racing against each other anymore. This is the real deal. So yeah, I'm happy to just kind of get my head down and just get cracked on with it now.
Yeah, you got a blue and gold shirt on there, and I know it's the Devils, but how does it feel to have a blue and gold race jacket on a Friday night and racing Armadale?
Amazing. I've always watched the speedway since I've been younger, so to be finally able to wear a blue and gold, doesn't matter if it's the Devils or if it's the Monarchs, it still means a lot to me. So it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, and then of course last Friday against the Bullets, your first paid win. How did that feel? I mean, I appreciate the other 2 guys came off, but then today, if you didn't complete 4 laps, you can't win a race, and your first paid win. How did that feel?
It felt really good. It was good. Obviously, it wasn't the way I wanted it to happen, but it still happened, and it was a big relief, and I thought that for me was going to go up from there, but it's just the way it is, and it's just Speedway. So as soon as I kind of get a bit, my confidence in that gets a bit up, and obviously speaking to all the other team in that, they're giving us tips and all that every week. So I think it will only get better.
Yeah, and how, again, just that, I know you've had some National League experience before, but just that, how's the team building this year so far, and how you think you're getting on as a bunch of guys together?
The team's getting on really well, actually. I never thought that it would have bonded as this quick, but I think after Berwick, everybody was actually quite good pals after that, and everybody got along just fine. So that's what I was hoping for, and it happened. So it's really good to be a part of a team like that.
Yep. And then looking ahead to this Friday, obviously it's the Newcastle Gems, another new team in the National League, but a lot of riders that you'll know, or they'll know Armadale. You know, obviously Max Clegg was 4 years of Monarchs, and then guys at the bottom like Archie Freeman and Danny Smith that you have done a lot of laps against or with in the sort of National Junior Development or Northern Junior Development League, in the past. So guys that you know, and guys that'll be tough to beat round the Dale.
Oh, I definitely. I don't think they're going to come and be easy to beat. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got young Archie who's a good rider, and Danny's came on quite well last year as well. So I'm looking forward to racing it. I've not actually raced against them that much because they've been a bit younger than me. And they were kind of on the 125 and 150s. But now obviously they're on the 500, so we'll be racing against them. It's more of like kind of Gregor that's been racing against them.
But again, this is now, I mean, it's 3 weeks in a row. You're in the main event, as it were. So you've now got your feet under the table. We've got that new experience. So hoping things will start to kick on and move on a bit now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm hoping for as well. I think each week as it goes on, the more determined I'm getting to kind of score points, and if I can score more than what I've been scoring, then I'll be happy. And just as long as I make my progression and I'm scoring decent points at the end of the season, I just want to keep going and keep on getting better, and that's the plan.
Dave Lewis there, you know, you hear when he's talking there, I think he just needs a few more laps, a few more points will come with those laps, and then the confidence will start coming in, and we'll start seeing some big performances from Lewis, I think.
Yes, definitely. It's the real enthusiasm he's got for being part of the team and part of the setup, and I think he recognises the opportunity he's got this year, and it's now got to be right. Okay, that initial excitement, let's get over that and get on with being the job of being a speedway rider, and start to build some points and take the opportunities. And it should be a good opportunity this week with Newcastle being fresh. Hopefully, a great chance for him to score some points.
And that's it. It will be an interesting one against Newcastle. If you kind of look down the lineup, there's guys that have been doing laps in practice. Everyone has been doing laps in practice with the season coming up, but not a huge amount of Armadale experience after Max Clegg. You know, there's 2 debutants in Ryan Terry Daly and Kelsey Dugard, who we'll hear from in a little bit, and then some guys that have done laps at Armadale, but maybe very much in a Caledonian Riders Championship, a youth championship level rather than National League. But some exciting prospects, particularly at reserve with Archie Freeman and Danny Smith. Yeah,
definitely. These guys have been they have been there a few times, as you say, and Archie's always looked pretty exciting, and him and Danny have they've been pushing each other along a bit and driving each other to do better. And again, this is the first opportunity for them, just as we're talking about for the Devils. The great opportunity for Archie and Danny, and then more laps for the likes of Josh and Joe as well. And all should be good. But it'll be for them, first time in a real meeting at Armadale will be interesting.
Yeah, and if we go back to Archie Freeman there, of course, anyone that saw the results or caught the youth championship last year, Archie made the final of the 500cc up against the likes of the Thompson twins. So some good pedigree in that meeting. So I think, the Devils man of the match last week, George Rothery, that there could be some real interesting tussles from those reserve berths.
Definitely, George has been impressive in the first two meetings. So be interesting to see how he continues with that, as you say, Archie's been an exciting prospect for as long as I can remember. I'm first coming up with it would still have been the Gems and then Northern Junior League, and it could be some interesting races, and hopefully we get some races as good as last week. So we're really good at that.
Yeah, that'll be excellent. Some really good battles there last week between the Stellar Devils and the Bullets. I guess it's, for one thing, for Newcastle, if we maybe step away from their National League for a little bit and look at the Championship, we know they've not had their troubles to seek since Rob Grant took over. There was issues, I think, with some debt that wasn't disclosed when he took over. We've had issues, obviously, with COVID for a year, and now the stadium restrictions stuff. So I guess if you're a Newcastle fan watching this, it must just be great to see that Newcastle name, a 1-7, back on track and racing in competitive fixtures after what's been a pretty hellish 18 months.
Yeah, all the kind of start, stops, rumours and changes they've had to make. And even for the new promotion, I mean, it's been a long time since they took over, and finally to get a team on track they'll be finally gotten to do the job they were hoping to do and not deal with all the things that we've had to deal with, everybody's had to deal with in normal daily life. But no, good luck to them at Newcastle. It'll be a challenging year, I'm sure, but the Gems will be, I think, with Max at the top, they'll do reasonably well this season, and let's just see how they get on.
Yep, and another man making his return to the sport after a layoff is Kelsey Dugard, maybe seen as a wee bit of a surprise signing when Newcastle snapped him up. That maybe wasn't the case. We'll ask Kelsey about that as he joins us on the phone now.
So joined on the preview show here by Newcastle Gems Kelsey Dugard. Kelsey, thank you very much for giving us the time and joining us.
No problem at all.
So I guess to start off, first meeting of the season, or first competitive meeting of the season for yourself and for the Gems. You must be looking forward to getting back on the bike and back on track.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the first meeting's always the one that everyone wants to prove themselves in. Obviously, everyone's been training in the winter. They've been getting their bikes ready, upgrading their equipment. So everyone always wants to have a good first meeting. And I'm hoping to get a few points away at Edinburgh.
And Kelsey, so I'm led to believe, I know that you've been up to Armadale before. I don't know what you've heard about the track and what your thoughts are coming up to Edinburgh for the first time.
No, so I've spanned at Edinburgh before for Lassabier. I think I did Richard Lawson there. I've been up there a fair few times, but I've never actually rode it myself. But from what I've heard, it's quite similar to Eastbourne, and I've rode pretty much grown up on small tracks, so I reckon it would suit me quite well.
Yeah, and I guess if you are looking for any hints or tips, you can't go much further than your number one in the Gems team, Max Clegg. I think 4 years a Monarch, 130 plus matches around Armadale. I guess a few of the younger guys will be really leaning on Max this Friday just to help with the setups and stuff before you get out on track.
Yeah, I mean, with team talks and when you go on track walk as a team, you all talk about previous experiences and who's been here, who's done what, and Max has obviously got quite a good history around the place. And I, to be fair with Max, he's a very good rider, and I think everyone will be listening to Max. But when you're at a track, Max will want to be doing his own thing, and he'll want to be scoring his own points. He'll want to be in race mode, and he might not have time to talk to everyone. So that's where you've got the experienced riders like me, Ryan Terry Daly, who have been in the league quite a while, and we can say, look, because people like Archie and Danny who haven't, and Joe, to be fair, Josh, that haven't actually been in the National League that long, we can say, look, just calm down, take your time, just enjoy it, because that's the problem. When you put too much pressure on yourself, you go out, you're tense, and you make too many mistakes. And that's where this year, I think, everyone is going to, for the first few meetings, you see silly mistakes happen. And that's where we're all going to, this year, hopefully, see a team gel together and work.
And have you had much opportunity to get together as a team so far? Obviously, this will be your first meeting.
So we've obviously got a group chat that we all talk on. We saw each other at a practice day once some of us were in the morning, some of us were in the afternoon. Other than that, I know Archie on a personal note, and Ryan Daly, Max. I know on a personal note, Josh. But as with team bonding, we haven't really done too much. So hopefully, get Friday out of the way, and then hopefully we can spend a few days in Newcastle after that or something, and really start gelling. Because I think the key to winning a league or even being competitive is team spirit. Because if you've got a team that help each other out and you've got a team spirit going, it wins you points.
Yep, and of course it might have come as a surprise to a few when you signed for Newcastle. Obviously, been renowned more as a southern-based rider, but of course you have been involved in the Diamonds pit setup for a few years. You mentioned it earlier on, done some spannering for the likes of Lassie Bier. I believe this year you're going to be helping Ben Barker out a bit. So you're not new to the Newcastle setup in any way, shape or form. No,
so I with the Newcastle setup, I started off actually with Alfie Botel, who's quite a close mate of mine. And we did 2017 at Newcastle. Obviously, I met everyone in Newcastle. Then 2019, Lasser called me and said, look, I need a mechanic. Would you be interested? And then I was meant to be helping Nick Scourger this year. That fell through when he couldn't ride for Newcastle. So then I got a call. I was actually pretty much signed, ready to go to Eastbourne. And then Rob Grant called me. He was like, look, would you be interested in coming to Newcastle? We got a mechanicing job because my daughter's up there as well. It seemed like a no-brainer, really. Like, I think with Eastbourne as well, I feel like I've served my time there, and I won't really gain too much with staying there. So I just looked at it as a new challenge, a new team, and as I said, hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and it's good to get that little bit of a different perspective and learn new tracks, master something new. So from a personal perspective, what is it you would hope to achieve this season?
I mean, I've been in the league a while. I'm one of the most up and down riders ever. I can go out and I can score 12, or I can go out and score 1. And this year I'm literally going for an injury-free season, and to just have a steady season. Like, I've gone out, I've beaten Steve Box. I've gone out and beaten number 1s, and I've stayed constant at number 2, number 4. I've had 5-6 point averages. And I just literally, my aim is just keep a 7-point average, because with the league being easier as well this year, I don't think it would be hard to keep a 7-point average as such. I know there are some decent 3-pointers coming through, but on a whole, I would say 7-point average, just to enjoy my racing, really, and keep everyone happy. Because if you're enjoying your racing, then you want to do it more, and then next season, just see what happens, really.
Some big targets Kelsey's setting himself there this year, Dave. I'm obviously looking at a 7-point average, as he mentioned there. Yes, the standard of the league, the points limit in the league has been lowered, but joining on a sort of 3.5 to 4-point average, looking to put 3 points on that, even with a very good season, that's a big ask for anyone, but certainly a determined sounding Dugard there and ready to go.
Yeah, he's clearly thinks he's good enough for that level, and he's been in Eastbourne National League winning teams in the past, so he's been around for 5-6 years despite that layoff, as you say. So he's determined to take this opportunity. It's a bit of a fresh start at Newcastle rather than being at Eastbourne, and he's been around the tracks before, as you say, and certainly got lots of experience. Obviously his pedigree from his father and things like that as well. So it's really he needs to be kicking on now if he wants to take the step to the next level.
Yeah, and I think for the Gems team, that will be key as well. Everyone knows, and Max Clegg, we talk about the likes of Leon Flint, Nathan Rees in the past. Max Clegg's another one that will be in the top 2 or 3 in averages in this league, maybe the top 4 or 5 at worst. But you kind of look for backup, and that's where the likes of Joe Alcock, Kelsey, Josh Embleton will come to the fore. Of course, on Friday, it is the Devils against the Gems, as we've been talking about. And if you want to see how that match goes, click on the Edinburgh Monarchs website, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, or the Armadale Devils website, armadaledevils.co.uk, and you can pick up your stream now. For anyone that had the stream last week, we won't kind of go back in and out the details. There was a few teething problems in there that are now completely rectified. They got fixed as the meeting went on last week, and we're fair set, or we're set fair, as the saying goes, for a big one. So, you know, we say this, and we're going to keep repeating this. Friday night is Speedway night at Armadale again. Yes, hopefully we got some announcements from the Scottish Government this week that means we should have fans back as soon as we can. But until that time comes, the best way to get involved is to get those streams purchased, get them nice and early, get on that stream nice and early, ready for a big Friday night in, and cheer on the Armadale Stellar Devils. Or if you're joining us from the Geordieland area, you know, the Newcastle Gems, cheer your boys on, and I say purchase that stream. Dave, another feature of the preview show, as we have every week, and it goes back to when there was a previous iteration, is Mike Hunter's Blast from the Past. Now, normally we'll look for rides from the away rider that we interview. Kelsey Dugar's never ridden Armadale before. We couldn't do that. We'll look for rides from the team. Again, I don't know if the Newcastle Gems matches when it was the Northern Junior Development League have ever been taped. Yeah. And we've seen enough Diamonds action. And, you know, if you want some Diamonds action, get yourself subscribed to EMTV Plus. So this week we decided to look a little bit different, and we went back to the last home match the Dale Devils had prior to last Friday against the Bullets, when they faced off against Stoke in the National Trophy, I believe it was called at the time, the Cup competition.
Maybe the Conference League. That's
right, probably was, yeah, the Conference League, maybe the Conference League Trophy, the Conference League National Trophy. Heat one of that match saw some familiar names, some familiar faces that are still kicking about, albeit maybe in slightly different roles. For the Devils, it was Willie Lawson, we all know it, and Gary Beaton, the famous Beaton Speedway dynasty, and a couple of guys that might have a bit of a laugh from this, from both the Bert Bullets and Newcastle. For Stoke, it's Rob Grant and Gary Flint. Enjoy.
Well, it's a very big night for the Dale Devils. It's the last night of the 2005 season, but it's the home leg of the Conference Trophy final, in which the Dale Devils take on the Stoke SAS Spitfires. And this is the opening race. Rob Grant, William Lawson, Gary Flint and Gary Beaton. And Rob Grant to the corner, typical Grant corner there, but it was Lawson who got round him to the front. He's already well clear. Gary Beaton is chasing Gary Flint. Flint noted for his good gating. Gary Beaton, though, is hounding him here. Up alongside and much quicker into the pits corner, so Beaton's into third spot. Could he catch Grant? Grant riding a better line than he sometimes does here, and he's managing to hold a fair advantage for second spot. William Lawson absolutely roaring clear. It's hard to see him being beaten. And the home side start with a 4-2, so that's pretty much what they would have wanted.
So Dave, great to see some of those names there, and of course guys that are still involved in the sport, whether on the bike in Willie's case or behind the scenes now with Gary and Rob. And who knows, maybe a precursor hopefully to some glory to come for the Devils this season.
Yeah, it's just such a weird coincidence that the first two matches back for the Dale Devils are against the manager and the promoter of the teams they were facing, Gary and Rob, obviously. And as I said, Rob always was an exciting rider to watch, as was his dad. So hopefully it brings an exciting team up, and that'll be a fantastic opportunity for us to get on the stream on Friday night.
Yep, you mentioned that stream there. I guess that'll probably just about wrap our preview show up for the evening. So thanks very much to everyone that joined us, to Lewis, to Kelsey, to Mike for providing that blast from the past, and of course to you guys for watching. We'll be back on Saturday morning with a Friday Focus, reviewing all the action from the Stellar Devils against the Newcastle Gems. Obviously, if you want to see all the action yourself live, you can do that by buying that stream in ramonarchs.co.uk. ArmadaleDevils.co.uk. You'll find the details on either of those websites. But until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.
Good night.